Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. Hi, what's up? How you guys feeling? You are a long-time listener. You know, I'm always preaching about checking in with yourself of how it is that you feel. So how do you feel? Give yourself permission right now. Just take a little bit of time and just check in with yourself and saying, in this present moment, how do you feel? How do you feel? And while you're over there checking in with how you feel, start thinking about what you're grateful for, right? Start thinking about what you're grateful for. For me, in this present moment, I'm grateful for recognizing that gut feeling, recognizing when I know something is going to be okay and I don't have anything logical to back it up and I can just stand solid on something. I know what that feels like because I've made myself aware of when I felt like that before and I've moved on that feeling and how things have worked out. So I can't say that I get that feeling all the time. It's just when I get it, I know that I'm like, yo, that's it. That's the feeling. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but shit about to be good. And I have nothing to back it up. And I'm still checking in with myself to see if, am I not getting that feeling, you know, a lot more than I normally get it because it's just those things haven't been, you know, it just hasn't been that thing, you know, those things right there for me. Or if I still need to really just learn myself a little bit more, which I always think that we can always learn. We're always learning ourselves, you know, more and more every single day through experiences and choices and stuff. So I'm like, but I want to have this feeling a lot more. So what I'm trying to do is really check in with myself and see what's the other feeling, maybe the feeling that's before the, like, this is solid. Cause it means like that feeling that I'm getting before and something I can move on that. I can operate in that space. It just might not be like this other shit is like solid. Like there's nothing getting in, nothing. There's no leaks. There's no cracks. There's nothing. This is happening. What's up? You know, type thing. So I would definitely say that I'm really just grateful for just recognizing that gut feeling and knowing that when I have this is it. And that comes out in my readings too with people. And I just did one recently where I was speaking with someone and I said, look, you have to make these decisions, right? Because no one can make them for you. But what I can stand firm on is the feeling that I'm getting, the message that is downloading. Like I'm 100%. I said, and now I'm telling you this as a human, 100%. So both the spirituality and the practicality part, this is what the message is coming through, right? And while that person still is like everybody else still has free will and stuff, there's those feelings that I get in there that I'm just like, yo, I don't know what to tell you other than like, this is it right here. This is it. And it just validates like the individual's person, you know, what you're going through, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I'm just giving it back to you in a reflective standpoint and stuff. So I'll definitely say that's what I'm grateful for. It actually has me like really smiling, just like, yo, I got that feeling. I have that feeling right now. Like, yes, I remember the last time I had this feeling and such happened. So, you know, it goes back to that level of awareness. So yeah, that's what I'm grateful for in this present moment. Now, for you guys, I know you're over there checking in with yourself, right? Checking in with how you're feeling right now, thinking about the things that you're grateful for. So let's just do a little grounding. Let's just bring it in. Some of you might have already did it while I was talking. Perfect. But if you haven't, or if you're new around here, I always just want to take you through just a quick deep breathing exercise just to ground yourself, just to kind of remove some of that stuff that's on you, just so you can really feel yourself and really hear yourself too. Also, all right. So unless you're driving or operating some heavy machinery, I want you to just go ahead and close your eyes. Give yourself, that intentional and that conscious permission to just be here right now, just to be present with yourself, because nothing else matters other than just this moment that you are giving for yourself. You deserve it. Absolutely. Now I want you to take a nice deep breath and you're just going to breathe in through your nose And just let it out through your mouth. Just let yourself just be free, be present, just relax. Let those shoulders drop, let the jaw relax, like the tension you might be feeling in your body. Notice where you're feeling it at in your body. What is your body trying to tell you? What is your body trying to tell you? Let me take another nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose. And just let it out through your mouth. Let the rest of your body relax. Let your stomach relax. You're holding your stomach in unconsciously, not even really realizing it. Let it breathe. Let it breathe so your body can talk to you. How are you feeling? Notice the feelings in your body. Where is it showing up at? Is there any thoughts, anything that's popping in your head? And you're like, wait, where did that come from? Well, you just gave it a little bit of space to like seep in. All right, one more right now. Let's take another nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose. And just letting it out through your mouth. Yes, 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 and yes, right? Don't you just feel good? Don't you just feel good? All right, so how are you guys feeling? And what are you grateful for in this present moment? What are you grateful for? Express that gratitude. It's yours. Express it. Express it. Are you grateful for the conversation you just had? Are you grateful for the opportunity that presents itself? Are you grateful for the thing that, the logical part of you feels like you failed at, you weren't great at, but when you really step back and you really think about it, you're grateful for that experience because it taught you something. It taught you like maybe how is it you operate when you're under pressure? Are you in survival mode? Were you just doing that thing or those things because you felt like that's what you should do and you went against how it was that you were feeling? Something told you not to do it, but you just did it anyway. And now you're all bummed out about it. But when you really step back and give yourself that space and that grace, you're like, you know what? I'm actually grateful for that experience because now I know what it sounds like or what it feels like when my intuition is guiding me versus the logical part, right? You really just want to like dig deep. And it's okay if you just want to state things like, oh, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head and food to eat. All of that is wonderful because I don't know your story, right? I don't know. We could be like, yeah, that's just like basic. That's just a thing. But I don't know your story. 6 months ago, you might not have had that or that might have been in jeopardy. So that's what you're grateful for. So I'm definitely not saying don't express those things. Express whatever it is that you want. Just trying to open you guys up to just think, maybe some other angles too, because sometimes you just kind of forget things that happen and you think things are just going so bad, but you forget about like the amazing blessings and stuff that's in your life. So yeah. So you can put me on pause if you're feeling like, what, I want to express some more. Put me on pause, come back to me or check it out later, just express that gratitude and checking in with how it is that you're feeling. Right. How are you guys feeling? Now, how are you feeling? Are you feeling different from 7 minutes ago? Notice those things. What shifted? What changed? Do you feel a little bit more calm? And then if you think about it, was it because you took those intentional, nice, deep breaths? Okay. So maybe incorporate more of that into your life. Right. Yeah. All right. So what is your why? What is your why? If you are anything like me, like you'd be thinking that that's just so cheesy, right? So my first introduction into knowing what your why was from direct sales. And this was over 20 years ago when the very first taste of direct sales network marketing was with Mary Kay, with Mary Kay. And the person that I came up under that I'm still friends with her, shout out to Deborah. And she's an amazing, amazing, amazing human being. And they would talk about like, you have to understand your why. Like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why did you sign up to do Mary Kay? And I really didn't know. I seen the back of a little ad or something of some paper and it was talking about Mary Kay. And I want to say it was like $99 to get started and could be like your own business. I don't know. I was just drawn to it. I mean, I know what it is now after all of these years and everything that I've learned through that. It had nothing to do with Mary Kay itself, but it did start me onto that transition of being a entrepreneur, working for myself, having a business, personal development. That's where my personal development started. So that was my first taste into there. And then any other direct sales that I've been into, that's what they're always saying. What's your why? What's your why? I want you to really dig deep and just tell me what your why is and blah, 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 blah. So it just started to be a little buzzy for me where it was just like, oh my God, there's so much more to this than like understanding like what your why is. Like, I mean, my why is so I can provide for my family. What the fuck? These are like how I'm sitting thinking, right? So The other day, I was talking to my friend, and I was talking about it was about a real estate transaction. And just like many things in my life, it's like finessing. And when I say finessing, like getting creative, let me take it away. Getting creative to figure this thing out because there's more than one way to do something, and I'm gonna figure out that other way because that one way that I do know of, that shit ain't working for me. So I was finessing and figuring this out, and oh, I could do this, 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 and this. And I just said to her, I said, what am I doing all of this for? And she's like laughing. I'm like, seriously, what am I doing all this for? So, we finished our conversation, but it really had me thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I moving the pieces in life and moving the pieces in this game to make this happen? What am I doing? So I was like, well, I'm doing this because I want to, create generational wealth and pass this on to my kids. So when I said that, I was like, I don't feel nothing about that. And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing any of this? Then I'm like, okay, so I'm doing this because I'm saying, oh, I want to do it like for my kids. That's not strong enough. My kids are all adults and they might not want shit to do with real estate. They got their own lives. Now, mind you, I do know that they do want, as far as real estate, but that's not their main thing. They are literally living their lives and they have their goals and their plans and stuff. So I'm saying that I'm figuring these things out, taking on some stress, taking on some extra things and doing all these things because I'm saying I want to pass this on to like my kids. Nah, we got to reevaluate that because that's why it's not feeling deep enough for me. Like, and if you ever seen or heard like people who like this property, especially if you're a listener and you're in real estate, like you might have even wholesaled a deal or bought a property from a kid that their parents had the property and they just left it and let it run down and they just sold that shit for like a quarter of like what it's even like worth, right? Like could have been worth like fucking $200,000 and they sold that shit to you for $15,000 because they could give no fucks. They give no fucks. And I'm not saying that my kids are in that space, but at the same time, like, I don't know what that is. So why am I doing this for them and they may not even want it or they'll just sell it keep it moving. So I really just started thinking about that. And I'm like, what is my why? Why am I doing this? Not just the real estate. That was what prompted it. But it was really nagging at me. It was nagging at me for a few days. Like, all right, like, what is my why? What is my why? And again, I would say some other things that I'm doing, like, oh, so other people. And I'm like, wait a minute, everything is about other people. Well, I am here to serve. And I know that it's the greatest honor to even be in a position to be able to serve and to help others. And that is still very important. However, I really needed to dig deep into like, what about me? Like, what about me? I'm here. This is my life. It's my journey. It's my lessons. There's been my experiences and my traumas and stuff. And why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Like, what about me? What is it really for? And now it makes sense when you hear them saying, like, your why has to be so strong that when you wake up in the morning and if that slightest part pops into your head, like, I don't want to do this, you instantly get like this, like a jolt of like you just got shocked, like an electrical shock of like, this is why the fuck you're doing it. Get your shit together. What is that? And when I was thinking about some of the things that I was saying, I wasn't getting that feeling. I wasn't getting that. I just wasn't getting that feeling. And I was like, what the fuck is my why? Why am I doing this? Why am I on calls till late at night, taking on other people's traumas and helping them and knowing that when I get off of that phone, how emotional I am because my heart hurts for what they've gone through, but knowing that I have to keep that clear source so that energy can travel, through me into that individual person. But then when I get off, like I'm crying, at times, and my heart is just hurting or I'm praying extra heavy for, the client. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? And it just had me just thinking even deeper because I'll just keep it 100 with you. Like sometimes some of the things that I be dealing with and working with like people, it bothers me so much. I'll just be like, fuck this shit. And when I say that, just because like my heart be hurting and I be wanting to fix it for everybody. I want to solve all your goddamn, problems, or I want to learn all your lessons for you. And that's not my role, right? It's your journey. I'm just here to just guide you. But there's sometimes I'd be ready to just be done because I'd be like, it just be so much. And I don't, out of sight, out of mind type thing. Not because I'm tired of it in that sense. It's just because, I'm human too. So I feel guys. And then I have to bring myself back. And it's like, no, I'm good at this. And then I was like, I'm looking at it. Sometimes I feel like I wasn't looking at it deep enough. So it really made me like just really dig deep on my why for everything. And if you've listened to a couple episodes back, I told you like my words for 2022 is intentional and expansion, and just being more intentional with everything. And that's even thinking of like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I taking on these clients? Why am I opening up this? Why am I putting my energy into this? Why? So when I ask you, what's your why? Why are you doing the things that you were doing? Or why are you not doing the things that you want to do? Like really digging deep. Like, what is your why? So even you'd be like, well, my why is like, because I want to make sure I have a roof over my head. Okay. And that's great because we do need these things, right? We need our basic needs to be taken care of. And I can tell you, like, going through my life, there's been times where I've questioned that. I'm like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like, oh my God, I might not be able to pay this rent. Like, what the hell is going to happen? That type of thing. However, I just don't want you to forget about yourself in the process when you're thinking about like your why. You're saying like, yeah, because I need to make sure my basic needs are met for myself and like my kids, and we got somewhere to live. And that is very important. And I feel like that's something that needs to be stabilized in order for you to be fully present in the other things, right? But like when I say don't forget about like you, like what else is it that you want? Like, what do you want more to life than just getting the basic needs? Or do you feel like that's all that you deserve? Or you don't see a way out and it's just like every day is like that survival mode? Like, what is your why? Why are you doing the things that you are doing? Why do you want to start that business? Right? Why do you want to start that business? Like, really think about what is that reason? Are you doing this all for other people? And my experience when I say it, like, if we're doing it all for other people and we're just neglecting our needs and ourselves, we'll get burnt out quick. We don't want to do it. We probably meet a lot of resistance and stuff because we really don't even want to do it because we're doing it for someone else. Like, what about you? Like, how is it making you feel? Is there an aspect to whatever you're doing that you would like to add on that will bring you the joy, right? Give you the joy, make you feel good, which means you get to show up even more of yourself. Like, what's your why? And if you've never really thought about that before, this will be like a great journaling prompt just put on the top of the paper, like my why, and just write it down. You can break this down if you want to, you can do it however feels good with you or to you, or do it in different ways. But, you could put like maybe your personal life. What is your why? What is your why? Why are you single? Right. And this is a conversation I just want you to have with yourself, right? Fuck it if other people are asking you shit. Ain't none of their damn business, right? Ain't none of their business. But if you're like yourself, like, why are you single? Like, what is my why? Why am I single? What is the real reason that I am single? Are you not opening yourself up? You could say like, oh, I haven't found the right man or the right woman, the right person, right? Or is it because you're really truly just like afraid to, open up to let somebody else in because, you've been hurt before? What is that? What is that reason, being in that aspect, right? Why are you working at that job? Do you really like love the job? You're just doing it it's just to buy time to make ends meet. Like, what I just feel like when you can get clear on your why for these things, you can start to open yourself up to shift. It might be that your why for doing something that you really just don't like, but once you can see like what your reason being behind it, it might even shift and make it like a lot easier for you to continue doing that thing because you're like, this is why I'm doing this. Okay. Now, is this a temporary thing or is this like a forever thing? Like, in your mind, what do you see that as? So it just goes back to just bringing yourself to this level of awareness of like, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you getting so creative and trying to figure that whole obstacle and that puzzle out? Like, why? Like, why? And it's something that I'm still personally, I'm still developing like my why, because I keep thinking to myself, I say, okay, but go a little deeper, Tisha. What's up? Go a little deeper. Go a little bit deeper. All right, cool. How does that feel within myself? And I'm like, nah, I think I could go a little bit deeper on this one. All right. And what it was doing for me, it was bringing up some limiting beliefs that I thought that I had got rid of. Tricky little things still seeping in. So the more that you question yourself, and those of you that's been listening to me, not just on the podcast, but just in general, just like, you always would have heard me say, question everything. Question everything that's going on. Anything that anybody's ever said, like, question that shit. Question yourself. And that says, like, why? You're questioning yourself. Why are you doing this? Because I need to. Like, I should. I'm great at it. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, that's not enough. And this is just me saying it. Like, that's not enough. And it could be enough for you. So before y'all get all worked up over there, I'm just saying, like, there's so much more beauty that will come out of you going deeper and questioning yourself. Why am I doing this? So when you write down or you say it out loud, ask yourself, am I going deep enough? Can I go a little bit deeper? Okay, well, why is that the reason? ... And all. So yeah, what's your why? And I'm not even gonna ask you to share it with me unless you want to. I really want this to just be for you to just take some time and take some nice deep breaths so you can just center yourself. You can ground yourself, relax that nervous system, and really ask yourself why. Why am I doing this? What is the reason? What is my why? Until next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer or visit www.healingalignglow.com.